Welcome to this newest video, everyone. I hope you enjoy what I share with you. I've got a pretty eclectic taste, and for some of you that follow me on Instagram, you know that I just got a big old new honking laser. So I've got my CNC, I've got my laser, I've got my 3D printer, I've got lots of different digital tools I like to play with and share insights and information or gain information. So this video is going to focus on a project that I thought I would try out on my lasers that I would normally have done on my CNC, but because my laser is new, I needed to try it out. And that is making some teacher's gifts for my grandkids. I thought it would be very interesting since the laser I got is a 150 watt laser, is supposed to be able to cut through 3/4 inch material. So I thought I would give that a try. So I had some poplar and some maple, and I started with poplar because it's cheaper, and I've never done this, so I wanted to try it out. So I set up some test cuts on the poplar, got to a point where I thought I could cut through it, and I went ahead and cut and engraved a little 6x9 cutting board, cheese board, whatever you want to call it, using the laser. And this video is going to share the results of that. And then following this video, spoiler alert, you'll find out that I wasn't as pleased with the end product as I would like to be because of some charring and some other things that are the result of using a laser. And I went ahead and did the rest of the cutting boards, teacher's gifts, using my CNC to do all the cuts and then using my laser to do the engraving. And that really turned out nice. So I'll share both projects with you on the YouTube here. You can watch or not, whichever you like to do, and see if you pick anything up from that. So this will be part one of the two projects. I'll do the CNC version of this project later after this project. Since I'm new to it, if you have any information or comments, things you'd like to share to make my process improved, I'd appreciate that. And so with that, let's go ahead and go forward and share with you how I went about this project to cut out and engrave a little 3/4 inch thick poplar cutting board for teacher's gifts. I hope you enjoy it. Again, feel free to comment. Have a great day. I'll talk to you at the end. Running a few tests on my new laser, trying to cut some poplar. So good, it says it will cut 3/4 inch. To test the cutting, I put in two lines. I cut one at 100 millimeters per second, 100% power, and the other one was at 50 millimeters per second at 100% power. Neither one went all the way through, so I started some more tests. The next test I tried was at 5 millimeters. Actually, I tried a couple in between, but it was 5 millimeters at 100%. I thought I'd go all the way down as slow as I could, and max power, and you can see that cut through pretty darn good. The problem was I noticed that the actual amp meter was reading above the 30 milliamps, which it said don't do if you want to prolong your tube. So I started over. As you can see, that setting was pretty clean. Maybe should have stayed there, but I didn't want the amp meter that high. After looking and trying several cuts, this is 10 millimeters per second at 65% power, which is actually 30 milliamps on my milliamp meter, which says it's its max. So if I try to run above 65% power on the laser, it's going to exceed the milliamp number that was written on the tag. Because I didn't want to exceed that milliamp rating, not knowing how critical that really was, I went ahead and went with the 65% power. And I'll show you the cut. And so, of course, the engrave isn't at that level, but the cut is. So I had two different layers. And the cut out of the internal handle and the whole cutting board was set at that 65% power. And we'll see the results of that. In this section of the video, what I'm doing is I've got the poplar board set in my laser. And you'll see me switch between my iPhone, which is just sitting up there on top of the glass, and my DSLR camera trying to focus through the glass. So there'll be different focuses of pictures. Not real easy to get all of the picture, but I'm trying to film as much as I can so that you can get a picture of how the thing was cutting. And so that's what you're getting ready to see in the next several seconds. Okay, I carved and cut this out on the Laguna Laser EX. It took 2 passes on the cut, and you can see it's pretty burnt up, and there's a big ridge here, like maybe it was falling through after it cut one side, so it moved slightly. That's going to take quite a bit of cleanup, so we'll see how that works. This other side isn't too bad, and this side, but 2 sides were really burnt. I saw the charring from the previous video, so I started working on sanding the sides and the edges and in the handle with this Triton sander with all these little circular attachments. And overall it looked like it was doing pretty good. And you can see where the actual, most of the charring came off. The rest I'll have to do with a little hand. I got a little too aggressive in the handle and got it a little missed out of shape, so I hate that I had to sand so much. And I'll show you a picture in a few minutes about where I didn't get it sanded as well as I thought. But it looked pretty good, actually. One other element of the burning with the laser that wasn't as obvious when I was doing the sanding, and when I sanded, I thought I got almost all of the char and the burn out of the small cutting board there, and I was pretty happy with it until I started finishing it. And then when I water popped it and finished it, look at these next couple pictures. You'll see that no matter what I did to try to sand the ends of the board where the end grain was, I could not get all of the charring blackness out. And my only analysis of that is that's where all the end grain is, like porous straw material, and the charring and smoke actually drifted up into the poplar. I don't know how much I would have had to take it off, or if I would have ever got it all out. Might have drifted all the way through the board, I'm not sure. But I couldn't get that black out of where there was end grain completely. So that was another downturn. In summary, I really enjoyed trying this project out. And in the end, what I did was I made other boards. These were teacher's gifts for my grandkids. So I made other boards using my CNC to cut out the handle and to cut out the board itself. And then I used the laser to actually etch it, and I'll make another video, part 2 of this video, that shows that process, and that went pretty darn smooth. So hopefully you enjoyed this. It wasn't my normal CNC stuff. You'll be seeing more on the laser too, because I like to pass along things that I learned in my experience. So if you like this, make sure you leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and don't get disappointed when you start seeing laser and CNC stuff. I'm trying to share my experience with both, and I hope I'm a digital tools guy, and I hope that you enjoy both sides of it. I also like to do 3D printing, so I'm an eclectic kind of old guy with lots of different interests that I'll share. Have a great day, and wishing you the very best.